President Mahama visits victims of the Kintampo accident. And voting underway in Niger under tight security. Hello, good evening. Welcome to News Hour on GBC 24 and GTV. My name is Shirley Annan. President John Mahama has led a high-powered government delegation to the Bunafu region to pay visits to the Kintampo accident victims receiving treatment at medical facilities at Techiman and Sunyang. He presented cash and food items for the care of the patients. The president directed agencies responsible for road safety to step up a deliberate campaign to minimize motor accidents. We'll bring you that story later. Now, 229 medical and dental practitioners have received certificates to begin their housemanship at health facilities across the country. At an induction ceremony in Accra, the doctors and dentists were asked to practice with humility, put the needs and interests of the patient first, and frequently upgrade their skills. A report by Cyril Furi.
Of an induction ceremony for physician assistants is that of dentists and doctors. For the first time, the house officers were made up of students trained by institutions from across the country. This brings to 632 the numbers of newly qualified house officers. They have been mandated as a prerequisite to securing permanent registration and permit to practice to support senior doctors and to safeguard the health of patients. A board member of the Medical and Dental Council, Dr. Ernest York, tasked the doctors to be exemplary in their jobs and effectively communicate with patients whilst diagnosing and treating them before performing surgical procedures.
Your conduct as a doctor will set you apart. You may be the best academically, but not the best as a doctor. It's about making the right decisions at the right time, knowing the limits of your competence, and getting help when you need it. Because you see, if you are brought before the penal cases committee or the disciplinary committee of the council, it's no mean a joke. And you'll be judged by your peers who would examine whether your competence or your behavior is appropriate.
The acting chief director of the Ministry of Health, Dr. Afisa Zakaria, entreated the doctors to rise up to challenges of contemporary medicine practice, especially in the era of increasing non-communicable yet easily preventable and treatable diseases.
If we need to make a difference in our health indices, we need to move out and deliver care in the rural areas. We currently having vacancies there.
Solidarity messages from the heads of institutions emphasize the essence of doctors showing their clients or patients respect, avoiding fraudulent practice, and regularly upgrading their skills to give up their best to humanity, irrespective of where they are placed. High expectations from parents could not have been any less as they demanded of the awards excellence on the job. By the first week in March, the house officers will be deployed to health facilities across the country. Cyril Furi, GBC 24, Accra.
Ghana will continue to support peaceful efforts to resolve conflicts around the world. Those were the words of President John Mahama as the presidency hosted the diplomatic corps in Accra last night. The diplomats commended Ghana for a steady development in a peaceful, democratic environment. Napoleon Atukito reports.
It was the traditional annual meeting between the presidency and the diplomatic corps in Ghana, during which the president and his vice and their spouses interact with the diplomats and reviewed local and international issues. President John Mahama called for a minute silence for the murdered Member of Parliament for Ebuakwa North, the late J.B. Dankwa Edu, and the 61 passengers who died in the recent Kintampo accident. The issues which came up for mention at this encounter included terrorism, armed conflicts, prices on the international commodity market, democratic elections, the role of the Bretton Woods institutions in the economies of nations, economic development, international migration, as well as the renewal of diplomatic harmony between the United States on the one hand and Iran and Cuba on the other. The Dean of the Diplomatic Corps in Ghana, Madame Tendai Musoka, commended President Mahama on his appointment by the UN Secretary General to co-chair the high-level panel on the SDGs. Madame Musoka, who is also the Zimbabwean High Commissioner to Ghana, said the diplomatic community in Ghana has noted with admiration the increase in infrastructural development in the country, particularly in the social services sector. On Ghana's presidential and parliamentary elections, slated for November 7th this year, she said the international community expects nothing short of a peaceful exercise to consolidate the gains made by Ghana over the past 2 decades.
Ghana's 2015 MDG report documented success in halving the extreme poverty rate, reducing HIV prevalence, increasing access for girls and boys to primary education, and reducing hunger. Ghana also documented some areas of unfinished business, and there is commitment to meet those goals and to meet higher aspirations under the Sustainable Development Agenda 2030.
President John Mahama said Ghana has in recent times attracted the attention of many countries on the globe in very positive ways, attesting to strides being made by the country. He said the government will continue to ramp up power generation to avoid load shedding. He hinted that Ghana has received a clean bill of health by the IMF for successful implementation of the 3-year program.
Last week, the Minister of Finance released provisional end-year figures which showed that the economy is making significant progress in economic consolidation. Deficits to GDP figures were at 7.1%, which performed better than the targeted 7.3% agreed with the IMF. While growth for last year was just above 4.1%, it is expected that growth will accelerate this year and probably top 6%. The stability of the cedi is also creating a conducive environment for a decline in inflation and subsequently a decline in interest rates. We'll continue to ensure that the gains from the fiscal consolidation program are sustained over the program period and beyond.
The presidents of Turkey and Kenya are expected to visit Ghana in the first quarter of the year. Napoleon Atukitu for GTV.
The management of Anointed Electricals have presented 9 affordable wheelchairs to the Volta Regional Hospital to enhance its service delivery. The items, estimated at 5,000 Ghana cedis, come in the wake of inadequate logistics confronting the hospital. Receiving the items, the medical superintendent of the hospital, Dr. John Tampuri, said the hospital is in dire need of wheelchairs to enhance service delivery and called for more assistance.
According to authorities of the Volta Regional Hospital, popularly referred to as Trafalgar, the facility needs about 40 wheelchairs to ensure effective service delivery. It is estimated that each of the 14 wards of the hospital needs at least 2 wheelchairs, while the outpatient department needs about 10 of such logistics. The presentation of the 9 wheelchairs to the hospital, therefore, has come at the right time. The 9 wheelchairs are estimated at 5,000 Ghana cedis. Presenting the items, the General Manager of Anointed Electrical Engineering Services, Mr. Albert Arthur, said the presentation formed part of the company's corporate social responsibility. The medical superintendent of the hospital, Dr. John Tampuri, thanked the company for the gesture and called for more such assistance.
With the November 2016 elections fast approaching, many religious leaders are asking their followers to be civil and decorous in their political activities. The Salvation Army is the next to add its voice To the call for a hitch-free electioneering campaign, the church has gone further to ask Ghanaians to support and rally behind anyone who emerges victorious after the elections to work towards developing the country. It was occasioned by the installation of a new national leader for the Salvation Army, Lieutenant Colonel Samuel Chireme in Accra.
It's been 94 years since the Salvation Army registered their presence in Ghana, spreading the word of God and touching lives by meeting societal needs with health facilities, schools, community vocational centers to train the youth in employable skills, among others. With more than 1,000 churches across the 10 regions of the Ghana territory, the Salvation Army is managed by a 3-man cabinet under the leadership of the Territorial Commander, Lieutenant Colonel Lukao. One of these 3 national cabinet members is the newly installed Lieutenant Colonel Samuel Chireme.
And also witnessing to their determination to follow him.
Lieutenant Colonel Chireme has served for the past 25 years in various capacities. He has been a National Youth Secretary, Public Relations Officer, Divisional Commander, and now Secretary for Programs. Thanking God for the new task, he asked Ghanaians to support the nation's leaders to help develop the country.
A Christopher, as I said, near Onyami Bay in Amayan, say a kind before, Onyami Biara, said, way and Dibiawe, young fan Shannon son, young fa and EJ and fansum, na yen na yamwa, na omano, and ye informa.
In the next 6 years, the Salvation Army will be 100 years in Ghana, and the church hopes to save more souls for Christ and change more lives, especially in the rural areas, through social projects. Muto Bibinimto. GBC 24, Accra.
The Tema Metropolitan Assembly, with support from the Ministry of Fisheries and Aquaculture Development, has presented about 92 outboard motors to fishermen in Tema Newtown, a fishing community. The outboard motors were subsidized by the government. The price of outboard motors has been subsidized 50% by the government to enable fisher folks to purchase their own outboard motors. This initiative has helped a number of fishermen in Tema to buy outboard motors at a cost cheaper than the prevailing price market. This was done through their respective fishing association and the Tema Metropolitan Assembly. The Assembly has therefore presented about 92 outboard motors to the Tema Newtown Fishermen Association for onward distribution to some fisher folks who have already paid for their equipment. At a presentation to hand over the outboard motors to fishermen, the chief fisherman, Audum of Tema Newtown, Ni Odamte, thanked the ministry and the assembly for the support.
We are really grateful. We will distribute the outboard motors to all the fishermen, but we are also pleading for some more outboard motors for other fishermen who are yet to receive theirs.
The MCE of Tema, Mr. Isaac Ashai Odamtin, called on recipients of the fishing equipment to maintain them in order to enhance their fishing activities.
The old outboard motors should not be discarded because you have new ones. They can be repaired to serve as backups in the event that they develop faults. I will also urge the mechanics to repair faulty ones on time in order to boost sales.
The TMA is making efforts to ensure that other fishing communities in the metropolis are also supported with the subsidized outboard motors. Municipal, metropolitan, district and regional directors of the Ghana National Fire Service have held a Thanksgiving service to express their profound gratitude to God for how well the service has fared, despite the unpredictable nature of the job whereby fires occur without warning. It was presided over by Evangelist Abo Faye, who said intercessory prayers for the country and the service. He also rededicated Chief Fire Officer Dr. Albert Roundgezi to God and asked for guidance to lead the service through the year. Also in attendance was a Member of Parliament for Ablekuma North and ranking member of the Select Committee on Security, Mr. Fritz Bafu.
Sometimes it is difficult because if you knew that fires will happen at a particular time, or incident or any accident may occur anywhere, we may prepare ourselves for it, but you never know when it happens. It behoves on you and I to submit ourselves to the Mighty One, the Creator of the heavens and the earth, who knows all things. The insight, we don't even know what happens in the next hour. We may be here and fire may be called right now.
And as we ready up for the fourth week, we quickly run you through some of the past week's news headlines, which include acute water shortages in parts of the Eastern and Volta regions, efforts by the Ministry of Education to improve on SHS performance, and Uganda's President Yoweri Museveni winning a fifth term. Here is the week in pictures. Still watching News Hour on GBC 24. President John Mahama has led a high-powered government delegation to the Bunafu region to pay a visit to the Kintampo accident victims receiving treatment at medical facilities at Techimang and Sunyang. He presented cash and food items for the care of the patients. The president directed agencies responsible for road safety to step up a deliberate campaign to minimize motor accidents. Napoleon Atikito reports.
Describe Kintampo in the Bunafu region as the exact midpoint of Ghana. Last Wednesday, the nation woke up to the sour news of a road accident in Kintampo which claimed 61 lives and left many injured. A multiple bus crash that preliminary analysis and cursory observation blame on human error. President John Mahama led a government delegation to the Bunafu region to observe the condition of those receiving medical treatment. He was accompanied by the Chief of Staff, the National Security Advisor to the President, the National Security Coordinator, the Minister of Tourism and Creative Arts, a Deputy Minister of Health, and the General Secretary of the governing party. The delegation first visited the Holy Family Hospital at Techimai, where 5 survivors of the accident are recuperating. The president presented a cash amount of 10,000 Ghana cedis and assorted food items to the accident victims. He said all other patients at the hospital could benefit from the package, especially the assistance in kind.
A doctor for me and nurse for no. I just say Omukuta Sankrokoya, Nyamiadum, say Omo Apomodi, Equanim Kakaka, Omohon Etomo. Na Nyayare Huye, and then Padami no na Omodaho, in your form, you know, I just say Omo Prepra. Na Abain Bayan, a bit to me, said a bit to me aboa. Omepra no munya honde na omutimi asan ato omejuma so anaso omuko school omutimi asan ko school.
From Techimai, the president headed for the Sunyani Government Hospital, where 9 of the victims are hospitalized. He was met on arrival by the medical director of the hospital, Dr. Jacob Abebrese. Donations to this facility included 20,000 Ghana cedis and food items. Over here, there is a 7-year-old boy who only gave his name as Yima. He appeared to be in good spirits, perhaps unaware of the incident that left one of his arms in a bandage and scores dead. No one has claimed the boy as his own, but he gave the name of his mother as Atia. It is not known whether his mother or both parents were involved in the accident. Was still among the dead. Reports indicated that most of the accident victims were heading to the south from the Upper East Regional Capital, Bolgatanga. President John Mahama spent time with the boy, urging attention for him, another case who pulled through. President John Mahama said Ghana is unenviably among the top 10 accident-prone countries in Africa. He warned against driver overspeeding and poor vehicular maintenance. The president said everything will be done to minimize road accidents as he urged institutions responsible for road safety to enforce the rules. From Sunyani, Napoleon Atukito reporting.
You're still watching news on GBC 24 and GTV. We have more coming up. Please stay with us. Voters in Niger are going to the polls under tight security in presidential and parliamentary elections. President Mahamadou Issoufou is hoping to secure a second term in the impoverished West African nation. His main rival, Hama Amadou, is currently behind bars, accused of attacking babies, a charge of trafficking babies, a charge he strongly denies. The run-up to the vote has been marred by accusations of repression and a row over identification documents. The authorities have announced that roughly 1.5 million people without ID papers will be able to cast their ballots by having witnesses vouch for them, in a move that was condemned by opposition leaders. Niger is rich in natural resources, including uranium and oil, but is one of the poorest countries on earth, ranking last in the UN Human Development Index. And now to some sports news. 2-time Olympic and 4-time World Marathon record holder Ethiopian Haile Gebrselassie has arrived in Ghana. He will be launching the International Millennium Marathon dubbed Africa on the Run in Accra.
Ethiopian legend Haile Gebrselassie is in Accra to launch the second edition of the International Millennium Marathon christened Africa on the Run. The marathon is aimed at promoting the importance of the Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations and the Millennium Marathon for the youth in Ghana.
This second edition is going to be more and more, even the participant is going to be something very unique, I believe.
We hope that whilst you are here, you'll be able to rekindle the spirit of athleticism in our compatriots, our youth. Will be able to whip up a lot of enthusiasm in our youth so that those who have a passion for athletics will pursue that dream.
The launch of the race will feature His Excellency President John Mahama, the co-chair of the Sustainable Development Goals, passing a symbolic torch through all the countries of the world for peace and health. All 10 regions in Ghana will participate in the regional race. The launch will take place at the Movenpick Hotel in Accra on Monday.
15 goals were recorded in the first round of matches in the 2015-2016 Ghana Premier League. Here are the results. Accra Hasselhoek 1, New Edubiasi 0. Cape Coast Dwarfs 0. Dreams FC 1. Bechem United 2. Liberty 0. Tema Inter Allies 2. Idiana Stars 0. Wa All Stars 3. Hazakes 0. Techiman City 1, OB Chelsea 0, Sugakope Wafa 2, Kotoko 0, and Obuasi Ash Gold 2, Mediama 1. It's still live on News Hour on GBC 24, and now to some entertainment news. It is said that music is the food of the soul. To this end, the International Palace Church at Medina in Accra has organized a choral music program to feed the souls in the area with the gospel. Back to our earlier entertainment story. It is said that music is food of the soul. To this end, the International Palace Church at Medina in Accra has organized a choral music program to feed the souls in the area with the gospel.
The International Palace Church based at Medina in Accra used the choral music program to evangelize to the youth in the area. Singing groups joined the host choir for the program. The founder of the church, Reverend Dr. Bernard Mensah Adams, urged the youth to put God first in all their endeavors, especially as the nation prepares for 2016 elections.
Thank you for watching News Hour.